What if your loneliness is not a curse but a call? What if your isolation is not punishment but preparation? What if being alone is the only way to hear the voice within? In a world addicted to noise, connection, and constant attention, the one thing people avoid is solitude. But that's exactly where your true power hides. Because the truth is this: you must learn to be alone before you can awaken. This video is your reminder, your message, your moment. Watch until the end, and you'll never fear being alone again. The lie of loneliness. From childhood, we're taught that being alone means something is wrong. You get called the loner, the outsider, the weird one. But society confuses aloneness with loneliness. Loneliness is emotional hunger. Aloneness is sacred empowerment. Why do you think the world constantly feeds you distraction? Music, entertainment, social media, relationships. Because silence reveals the truth, and truth threatens the illusion. The matrix of this world runs on noise. Your soul, however, runs on stillness. Most people aren't actually afraid of being alone. They're afraid of what they'll hear in the silence. They're afraid to meet the version of themselves that doesn't rely on others for validation. Until you unplug from the world, you can't connect with yourself. You'll keep chasing people, approval, and temporary highs. You'll keep losing yourself in situations that don't serve your evolution. But the deeper you go into yourself, the more you find everything you've been looking for. Your wholeness is not found in others. It is uncovered in sacred solitude. That's why the first step toward awakening is stepping away from the crowd. The spiritual power of solitude. Look through history. Every prophet, mystic, and awakened soul had to walk alone. Jesus went into the wilderness for 40 days and nights. Moses ascended the mountain alone. Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree in solitude. Muhammad retreated to a cave where revelation found him. They all faced silence. They all faced themselves. And that's where the voice of God, of truth, of awakening began to speak. Solitude is not about loneliness, it's about alignment. It's not a punishment, it's a purification. It strips the ego, removes the masks, and reveals the core of who you are. The moment you separate yourself from external noise, internal clarity begins to rise. Solitude forces you to witness your wounds, but it also helps you hear your higher self. The voice that was once drowned out by everyone else's opinions becomes louder. It's the voice of wisdom, the voice of God, the voice of purpose. And in solitude, that voice becomes your compass. You stop outsourcing your power and start owning it, because no one can walk your path for you, and no one can wake up for you. What silence teaches you. When the external world is quiet, the internal world begins to speak. You begin hearing things you haven't heard in years. The whispers of your inner child, the suppressed dreams, the truth you've been ignoring. Silence is not empty. It's full of answers. In silence, you'll begin to witness the parts of yourself that were never healed. You'll hear your doubts, your fears, your guilt, but you'll also hear your resilience, your intuition, your soul calling you forward. Most people use noise to run from truth, but truth lives in silence. The longer you sit in stillness, the clearer your awareness becomes. You begin noticing your habits, your reactions, your patterns. You begin seeing why things in your life happened the way they did. This insight is sacred. It is wisdom that can't be taught, only revealed. And silence is the mirror that reflects it all. You'll also start sensing things differently: energy, emotion, divine timing. You become more present, more aware. In stillness, time slows. Perception expands. You realize that the entire universe exists in the space between your thoughts. And in that space, you awaken. Detachment is the key to awakening. To awaken is to see clearly. But vision is impossible when your eyes are clouded by attachment. Attachment to people, to identity, to outcomes, to expectations. Solitude teaches you how to let go, not as an act of loss, but as liberation. In solitude, you detach from the need to be liked, seen, accepted, or understood. You become enough for yourself, and when you no longer need anything outside of you to feel whole, you become unshakable. You stop fearing rejection because you've already accepted yourself. You stop craving attention because your soul has your full attention. That's what awakening is. It's becoming untouchable by what once controlled you. It's realizing that the chains were never real, just familiar. Detachment creates clarity, and clarity creates transformation. Because when you let go of everything you're not, you